And you already had a short stint as acting mayor, right?
Yeah, during the 9/11 crisis.
Yeah, that was. I'll never forget that day. You know what?
None of us.
I was, believe it or not, Chris, in a stretch where I was working out 4 or 5 days a week at the time. But that one day, for some reason, the alarm clock went off. I'm like, I'm tired. I'll just skip it today. Hit snooze. And a friend of mine called and said, wake up. Are you watching the news? No, what's going on? Something's happening in New York. You should turn the TV on. So I turned, it was Channel 4, KNBC, and the first tower was already smoking. And saw the plane hit the second tower live.
I hate that.
And right away, I'm just shocked into being awake. And I remember reading the print at the bottom of the screen. 4 planes unaccounted for headed towards Los Angeles. And then it hit me, wait a minute, the mayor of LA is in Washington, D.C. right now. I'm acting mayor. The president of the council serves as acting mayor when the mayor's out of state. And so right away, I'm on the phone with the police chief. I'm on the phone with my chief of staff, and I realized I just got to stop getting on the phone, just shower up, get dressed, and head downtown to City Hall. And that began the first of about 3-4 days of just nonstop. What's going on? You know, learning just as the world was learning in real time what was happening. But to be in charge of the second largest city in America, not knowing what could or couldn't happen, was kind of a heady experience. And I remember after the first 24 hours in huddling with the emergency operations people in LA and being in touch with federal agencies, state agencies, and others, you know, we try to keep the public informed as to what was going on. And when it got to the point on day 2 where, okay, everybody go back to work, no credible threats headed to Los Angeles, the police chief said his piece, the fire chief, the airport director, all these other people. And I'm like, well, what's my part? I'm the acting mayor, but you're the experts here. What am I supposed to say? Well, your job is to just make people, you know, have people go back to normal and be calm. Like, well, how do you do that? You know, who writes that script? But you know, we tried to articulate that. And I remember going back into the emergency operations room and asking them, well, how do we know if they heard us? What do you mean? I'm like, well, yeah, you told me to tell everybody to go back to normal. How do we know if the message got across? How do you measure that? And I'm like, then something kicked into me. I'm like, hey, aren't you the liaison to the school district? Call and find out what the attendance was today. Because if 50% of the kids were not in school, they didn't hear us. If 90% of the kids are in school, they heard us. Hey, aren't you the liaison to the MTA? Call over there. What's bus ridership this morning? Because if it's 40%, they didn't hear us. If it's 85, 90%, then they heard, you know, all this like
very
metrics,
practical,
right?
Yeah, practical metrics.
Yeah, just kind of, there's that engineer common sense.
Probably,
again, you know, something
Problem
like that. Then I thought, okay, well, now you got to lead by example.